Hey, thanks for joining for a story today. So one day a leper came to Jesus on his knees saying, "If you're willing, you can make me clean." Jesus, filled with compassion, reached out and touched him and then said, "I am willing, be clean." And at once the leprosy left him. He was cured. Then Jesus warned him sternly, saying, "See that you tell no one, but go show yourself to the priest and offer the offering required by the law of Moses as a testimony to them." Instead, the man went out and shared widely what Jesus had done. As a result, Jesus could no longer enter openly into villages, but had to keep in the remote areas. But still, people came to him from everywhere. That's the story. So again, this leper came to Jesus on his knees. And I just wonder, if you think about the impact of leprosy on a person's life, where he was limited in contact with family and friends, that he was disconnected from normal connection with people, hugs and presence of others. He was separated often in communities outside of the main community, so separated socially. Religiously, he couldn't go to the synagogue. So you have something that impacted all different areas of life. What would it have felt like to be that leper? And Jesus, when the leper comes to him on his knees, which the leper wasn't supposed to do, Jesus doesn't rebuke him, but is filled with compassion and touches him. Now, according to the law of Moses, that would have made Jesus unclean at that point, that he touched a leper. But Jesus doesn't seem to care, does he? So what can he learn about Jesus? That he reaches out and touches this leper and then says to him, "I am willing, be clean." It's powerful to me how Jesus is so present with him and reaches out and touches him. I wonder what impact that was on the leper. I mean, you think about how long had it been for this guy since anyone had touched him anywhere. Can you imagine what that touch must have felt like to him? To be touched, to have human touch. And Jesus then says, "I'm willing, be clean." And at once the leper's leaves him and he's cured. That just must have been such an incredible experience. And Jesus doesn't tell him to go to spread widely what had happened, does he? He tells him instead to go and make the offering required by the law of Moses to the priest as a testimony to them. What might have happened if he had done that? But instead, the man doesn't do that, does he? He spreads widely. And because, as a result of him spreading widely what Jesus had done, then Jesus can no longer enter openly into villages. Jesus is hindered because of the man's disobedience. Isn't that remarkable? It's interesting, isn't it, how a simple story like this brings up all these different connection points. I know there are many people that feel isolated and lonely, maybe just like this leper. What can you learn about the character of Jesus for you if you're that person? Because of how he reached out, touched the leper, and spoke to him. And what do we learn about obedience? Oh my gosh, obedience. And the leper is told to do something and chooses not to. And Jesus takes the consequence of that. Isn't that interesting? That it's Jesus that took the consequence for the leper's disobedience, not the leper. The leper stayed clean. How has Jesus maybe taken the consequence of our own disobedience upon himself and exchanged places with us even, where the leper was in the outermost places, now Jesus is. Perhaps in the middle of pandemic season, we can remember the gracious willingness of Jesus to exchange places with us and be present to us. I don't know what you need, where you are, what's going on, but may the Lord God Almighty encourage you and strengthen you in the middle of your season of life. Grace be to you today.